Hello again, folks. Webroot.com here, once again concluding our playlist for preparation playtest matches for Pro Tour Origins in Vancouver this upcoming weekend. This is our last recorded matchup. Niar Nepulze on the right side of the screen and Valentin Soloviev on the left. He's piloting Jeskai Tokens once again, and I am bringing you Sultai control, a list close to the one that top-hated the SCG Open in Richmond this past weekend. Make sure to check out our full playlist. We had a bunch of different matchups there. A couple of free matches though. So let's see what this matchup will bring us. I think this could be something very spicy and grindy. Having access to a lot of different tools between removals and chases and Ugins is something that can really help the control deck here. Here you see us fixing the deck a little bit before we start the match. We forgot one card, and it was the Haven, the land that basically in that deck just brings back Ugin, and that's about it. There are really no dragons in that deck in the main board. I think there were just some Silumgars in the sideboard, but as for main deck, it's just to bring back the Ugin. I think it is an okay addition because the deck plays a huge amount of duels, so in terms of color fixing, the Haven should not disrupt the deck too much. Start first with Llanowar Wastes. He goes with Temple of Triumph, just rise to the top, I think. So I was on the play in this first match, so blow up a Fetchland. I think it's Polluted Delta, because I have some other black sources in my hands. I fetched the island. I couldn't fetch green source here, so I'm forced to take 1 extra damage to cast Satyr Wayfinder and find another Delta, which can give me another black source. I think I had an Opulent Palace in my hand, so I have access to double black and double blue for sure. He opted for a Seeker of the Way on turn 2 from the Temple and the Plains. Fetch again, thin in the deck. Getting enough fuel for future dig for times. This time I grab the swamp because I don't need the dig super early, and I already have another blue source in my hand. I was playing so much with Nisas, so that I forgot that actually the checklist is for Jaces. There are no Nisas in the deck. And I was playing with Red Green Devotion and Nisas so much, got confused, so I opted for face down Den Protector here. He attacked previously with a Seeker of the Way, which I just opted to chomp with the Satyr. No reason to take too much damage, so played the Opulent Palace. Also, the Sultai control doesn't really have much in terms of life gain in the main deck, so preserving the life total is a big priority here. So he opted for end of turn, raise the alarm, for more pressure. On his turn, cast Ascendancy. Now I'm under a lot of danger. Before blocks, he opts to shock away my morph. I flip the Dan Protector in response, really thinking for a while what to get back with it. No good options. Don't really need the lands, but don't really need the Satyr either. And that's about it for my options what to get back. And since he has an Ascendancy already out, so Satyr is not going to help that much. What I really need to do is cast Languish soon enough. Okay, then Protector dies. I took a bunch of damage from the attack from the Seeker and the tokens. We kinda shortcutted it here, even if you didn't quite notice it, so I'm letting you know. Playing another island. I'm kinda thinking that at 6 it's a bit dangerous to go down to 5 to cast the Thoughtseize and Languish in the same turn, because I have the Landwear Waste as my third black source. I do up to try to have a better long-term protection, and I did cast both. I think I took a burn spell there or something. It's not quite clear here what I took. I think I took a cruise from him, I think. So he's left with the Valorous Stance and something else. Played Neverland. So yeah, there is no Corset, there is no Rhino in this deck, which could have helped really quite a bit. So I cast a Jason another morph, which is Dan Protector. That's the only morph guy in this deck. He cast a Raised Alarm end of turn. So that basically, with the Ascendancy out in play, forces me to trade with the Protector with a token, and maybe even just chump block with Jace, which is not really a thing I want to do. But thanks to Diggs, I have some way to get back this card disadvantage. He goes to cast an Outburst, cycles with the Ascendancy. I think he pitched in lands, then casts another Cruise, so that's 2 spells. So the Raise Alarm tokens are free freeze now. That really means I have to chump with both my guys, and I can't even eat a token with the morph. But I still have 2 more cards in hand, and the third one coming down from the next turn's draw. Really need something good here. I think there is 1 Ogan and 1 Garruk Apex Predator in the deck as per other Planeswalkers in addition to Jace. So I cast Languish here, which was a pretty good deal here. I couldn't really keep up like a Dig or Bile Blight or anything. The deck I don't think runs any Bile Blight main deck, or does it? Well, anyways, I didn't have anything there. No, I think the deck runs some Bile Blights in the main deck. So I had nothing, just a Temple, and I didn't remember whether it was bottom or not. Augitash commands brings back the Seeker, which I then just downfall once the command resolves and Seeker is put into play. Then he draws for the turn, fetches. Or I think, no, he drew a card and brought back the Seeker, so that was the card he got. So I'm really hoping for something spicy here. I'm out of gas. He just cast another Ascendancy. Loots, so waste something. I think another lands, another Seeker, and a new Treasure Cruise. So he's really refueling himself there well. Milled a Velour Stance and the land from the Ascendancy. Loot triggers. Top deck. Just a Temple, which is not really enough, and I'm pretty much dead next turn because not only there's a Seeker on Field Senses, but also just a Stoke to Flames Ahead. Next up deck was a Dig, which would net me a Languish and a Dissolve or something like that, and the Garruk, which is not really great in this matchup, but it's fairly decent when opponents are top decking. But he has so much of reach thanks to burn spells, and quite often not really any good creatures to kill with the Garruk, so I wouldn't gain that much life, but that still could matter quite a bit. So off to the next game, which was kind of close, I feel like. But it's really sad that the Sultai control really has to answer a lot of early threats and try to stay alive for as long as possible, and you can't really bounce back with some life gain outside of maybe Garruk. The sideboard, I believe, features some Dasigers and some Feed the Clan, so that's something to help, but those are not very spectacular cards. Anyways, so a trial lands in turn 1 from him. We're switching gears, so even though I lost because I started the previous game, he starts now. Opulent Palace for me, Fetch, Jace, which is really bad for me. Really need to have a Bile Blight or an Ultimate Prize, but I don't. Really, an Answered Chase is a very problematic thing to face for any control deck. It just demands an answer. That the card is just absurd. I think just an Ascendancy and pass from him on turn 3. Draw for the turn. Absent control here would have like a Courser or some removal or a way to draw more cards. Luckily, while Absent Charm doesn't really deal with the Jace, Sultai Charm can kill it at least, and the main reason to go for Sultai control over like Absent control is that Sultai Charm actually answers not only Gaia's Revenge, which can also be hit with Absent Charm, but it can also break such things like Jeskai Ascendancy and some other annoying enchantments. Like Courser of Crucifix, which can't be hit from Absent Charm. So he loots on his turn with the Jace. It's really annoying to let this Jace dig for a few turns, especially with the Ascendants in play. He loots away a Shock, plays the 4th land and just passes. So I imagine there is some kind of Stoked Flames or Raise Alarm coming end of turn. I'm tapping Jace and looting with both Ascendancy and Jace again, trying to dig for more pressure, more burn spells, or more treasure cruises. Fetch. I'm yet at 19, which is good news, but he gets to filter through his deck so much in the early turns, while I didn't really have much. I think at this point I had something like a Languish in my hand, but it's so bad value to just kill Jace here. He goes for an expected raise alarm here on the turn, just to do what I already mentioned. And I think here, in response to all the triggers on the stack, so I murderous cut away the chase. It was really sad to be able to cast it only now, because I didn't have any Sultai Wayfinder to fill my graveyard and cast it earlier. Now I'm tapped out, so with tokens and ascendancy he can really deal a lot of damage. Stoke to my head, I'm at 15, one spell, so one pump, treasure cruise, 2 spells. Decided to keep Jace's only card in the graveyard, loots away another Jace. Draws 3, so it's already attacking for 6. Indeed. 9 is still not a bad number. I have to languish away the 2 tokens here. Temple Melody. Debating whether to push it to the bottom or keep it. Decide to keep it. He draws for the turn. What's that? Yeah, Seeker and the Jace. So, trying to get a really nice turn the turn after, but I hit a timely second languish to wipe away his guys. And just pass the turn with 2 palaces up, which could represent a lot of things. Not big, unfortunately. Play land number 7. Play a face down protector. I can get back languish here. He goes for Jeskai commands. Trigger from Ascendancy to loot. He's probably gonna bring back Jace here. So, no, he brings back a Jace and counters my Den Protector. And I downfall his Jace once it hits the table. Another cruise. It's amazing how fast his graveyard is filling up. Looting, drawing 3, refueling his hand. Nothing else, just passing the turn. I'm at 9, which is a fine number. Jeskai command again. In response, I cast a dig. I have 5 cards in the bin, so I have to just pay 1 extra for the dig. But unfortunately, I only have 1 blue source left after casting dig. So even though I saw dissolve from those 7 from the dig, I couldn't dissolve the command. And my only hope was to hit a Disdainful Stroke, of which there is only 1 copy in the main deck. So I decide to grab instead, I think it was a Hero's Downfall and a Nugan, so that I can immediately kill the Jace, which comes back from the command, not allowing him to dig deeper into the deck. So I think that's what I took. Command resolves, he brings back Jace, which I immediately downfall. One more land. Outburst. That's dangerous. A little bit. But unless he has something crazy this turn, I have Ugin coming down next turn and getting some value, wiping away his ascendancy and the tokens. And I'm at healthing 9. Even despite not hitting satyrs and having some mana issues in terms of colors, I still managed to somehow bounce back and deal with his threats. So Ugin is at 4, end of turn, raise the alarm. Now he needs an ascendancy to pump his tokens to kill the Ugin. Yet another cruise, I don't remember which one it is, third or the last one. Drawing more gas, one more lands. He did get the ascendancy. Now just any spell, which is a Stalk to Flames on me. I'm down to 5. His tokens are much bigger. Shocks to hands, and there is another Stoke, and instead of killing the Ugin, he just manages to kill me instead. So just imagine how many cards he drew in this game. It was really insane. We attempted another game, but unfortunately we had to wrap it up. Of course, the matchup becomes much better after sideboarding, of course, and I feel like with some smoother draws, Sultai Control actually stands a chance against tokens, despite the lack of life gain sources, or some board presence to actually stop the beat down plan of the Jeskai Tokens. So yeah, it's really great for Jeskai Tokens that a lot of the control decks actually cut on a number of Battle Blights and replaced them with ultimate prices. It's great that Sultai Control actually does run some numbers, and of course all decks run some things like Battle Blights and Drown and Swords in the sideboard, but tokens have a really great chance to win game 1 because of how badly a lot of the control decks or mid-range decks are prepared for that kind of strategy. Even though goblins and mono red aggro decks have been on the radar for everybody, but it's been largely neglected despite some okayish results at some medium-sized tournaments. So I'm thinking we would play this matchup after the Pro Tour a little bit, prior to the Magic World Cup qualifier season, so maybe you'll get to see a bit more of that matchup. But unfortunately we had to stop right here. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.